Good afternoon, I'm Alek Lotoczko, and for about the past 7 years I've been running the intranets at NYK Group. NYK Group, or NYK Line, are a Japanese-based global shipping line, marine transportation and logistics. When I inherited the intranet in 2004, I classified it as a 1.0. No social aspects, things like that. I hadn't even been thought about. At a single stroke, we managed to uplift the intranet to 2.0, in my opinion, by installing Confluence. If you go to the next slide, please. You skipped one. Because of the lack of time today, I'll try and just focus on personalization of search and semantic intranet as a way of uplifting the intranet to what I call Intranet 3.0. So the problem, what have we got? I hear it time and time again, we can't find anything. You've got 10,000 pages in there, there's no navigator, or the navigator doesn't give me a quick path to what I want. So it's all about finding things. Search results being irrelevant, I'll touch on that bit further in a minute, and save users time, so tasks they do repeatedly, so there's 5 or 6 clicks to get to an area that they like. How can we make that one click, save them time? Reduce redundancy. So we're a global organisation, someone trying to fix charter price in London, working for 2 or 3 days on that problem. There's a guy in Tokyo who already did it, but we can't discover that. Personalization, so we're going to come on to a bit of bingo buzzword, as somebody mentioned earlier. Please take part. But basically it's about delivering exactly what the user wants based on their circumstances, their attributes. Personalization, so we've got implicit, so this might be based on storing the log of what pages did they view, how long did they view it for, what did they click through, stickiness, so how long did they stay on each page, and it might also take into account the social graph, as Facebook will call it, but we'll call it the network in Confluence. And explicit, so this is maybe a user can opt in and they can say, I'm interested in bulk carriers and I'm not interested in cargo shipping. In addition, departments and functions could be pre-set up for sort of a new staff member. And hybrid is a mixture of both, which of course is the best solution. Another way of looking at it is these 3 categories. So you could personalize based on person or group, based on their behavior, or as I said before, their network, what they've collaborated on, and what their friends and like-minded individuals doing the same job role are viewing. Buzzword bingo, I'm not even going to quote it, but basically it comes down to relevance again. It can also come down to relevance to context, and that could even mean devices. So we'd be very interested in automatically simplifying the page if someone's using an iPod or an iPad. Filtering, there again, sort of on search, having done a search, can you filter it further? Confluence is quite good at doing that. You can filter by label, for instance. Personalized search results, so I'll try and give an example of this. I'm a great fan of Amazon Web Services, and although it's got a very simple URL, I can't remember it, so I search. I get American Wedding Society every damn time. Perhaps if they knew I was a 35-year-old gent from London, they might not give me that, as opposed to, say, a 19-year-old photographer in Texas. Another example, if you're the search server and I say to you, Jaguar, what are you going to give me? Maybe because we're in London, you might give me the car. If I was in Nicaragua, you might give me the big cat. Or if I was in Silicon Valley, you might give me the operating system. So context and personalization is important. Next one, please. It's not all good news. So putting these things in comes with some pitfalls. Biggest one might be the technological hurdle. It's not easy to do this kind of stuff. It's a lot easier to do it inside the intranet, where you've got people logged on, you know who they are, you know a bit about their job roles. It's better thought for Google, who perhaps have none of that information, and yet they're making inroads in this field, and we can steal ideas from them. And then the personal issues. So I want to protect my privacy. You know, this is an intrusion. Are there legalities here? Data Protection Act. All of this has to be looked into. One tricky thing is multiple roles, or part-time workers, or workers doing 2 roles, and they keep getting the irrelevant stuff served up. Semantic wiki. So this is an interesting one. If we take Wikipedia, fantastic global source of all information. I have to write an assignment about all the films made in the late 1960s who were made by an Italian director. Every single movie has a page in Wikipedia with everything I could want to know about that movie, including the director, but there's no way for me to pull up a list, none at all. If I had in my head a list of Italian directors, then one by one I could go to their page on Wikipedia and it would list all the films they were ever involved with in any capacity. But semantic wiki might offer the solution to that. I'm going to cut through all this and just basically go to a quick practical example. In my space on Confluence or Wikipedia, I've got 3 pages, London, UK and EU. In the London page, there's a bit of fact. It says this is the capital of the UK, and that's a link to the UK page. So clearly a machine can infer some kind of relationship there, but it can't do a lot else. Incidentally, the UK is linked as part of the European Union. If we take the London page, so we've got the human readable text is the capital of the UK, and we could put a simple link in there. But supposing we could do something a bit more than a simple link, and we could say is capital of, with some kind of special marker. And if we further say that the term is cap of, is a special occurrence that the term is part of, that will be useful later on. We've also got a piece of data in here. Population of the UK is around 7.5 million. Sorry, population of London. Supposing down here we could do a kind of data link. So it's not a link to another wiki page, but we have a population with a different assignment, and we put in 7.45, or whatever. Now, at a stroke, we can run an instant query, or we can set an agent running, and we can say, give me all the cities that are part of Europe that have populations in excess of 5 million. Or we could rank all cities in reverse descending order on population. One problem, we might get counties, we might get rivers, we might get buildings, they're all part of the UK. So perhaps we can put a category on a page. Now I know in 3.5 last year I've put categories on spaces, which is a great first move. In 4.0 or 4.5 let's have categories on pages, unless I'm mistaken, it's already there. So we have cat, a different kind of marker is the city, and then we can get the automatic agent to produce the results we want. If we go on a slide, please. So to make this work, common languages, common formats, automated agents maybe running in batch overnight, mining all this information, producing these useful lists in advance. Next one. I thought we'd take a quick look at what we've got in Confluence today. So based on the Lucene search, that is the Confluence search, I'm not a Java developer, but I'm told if you are, you can get in there and you can tweak it. You could do what's known as boosting, so score boosting. So if you've got a log of what users have viewed, what they like, what they've marked as their favorite spaces, what they're watching, perhaps you can boost search to get better relevance. And I've heard of something called expert level, which is another Java term where you could actually introduce your own search classes, but I'm not a developer, so I hope I can stimulate some developers out there to think about this. We've seen in 3.5 some leanings towards this kind of thing in the dashboard. We've seen that you're now able to click on the tab to just show your favorite spaces. So that's the explicit opt-in. We're seeing categories, so the category tab. So an administrator could go through and categorize spaces according to, job relevance or divisions. Search. So things you can do today is provide a search in the context of just a space. So put one of those on every space, as well as the global search. We did some work using a couple of plugins from Adaptivist, the Advanced Search plugin and the Profile plugin, to give a very detailed search based on only values in the user profile. So we can have search on department, division, job title, person's manager, even part of their phone number. RSS, so we use RSS. You can build an RSS feed based on labels. So with careful labeling of news, we produced a very tailored email news service. So our employees can say, I'm only interested in environmental news, or I'm interested in the container business only. And they get a tailored newsletter each night. We're also seeing in 3.5 continuation of the user profile, following, follower network, which again is starting to bring that social graph to life. Bookmarks is not an area I know anything about. I did once experiment with them. I am an ardent fan of Delicious, which unfortunately is going. So plugins, you could add quite a few plugins to your Confluence instance to help you try and do some of this stuff today. So as I mentioned before, some of these advanced search and profile plugin, but we could look at scaffolding and reporting to add metadata to pages. That's it. Thank you.